All right, welcome to Eye on Hong Kong. My name's Harminder.
Hi, this is Key.
And hello, I'm Lee.
And we have Lee for our first topic here. So we're on the 10th episode. I'm glad to be back. I will not let you guys talk. And so let's get right to it, shall we? Anti-Occupy Central signature campaign.
Did you sign?
Lee?
Really?
Yes, I did.
Really? No.
Well, yes, because I wanted to point out the inadequacies and stupidity of the process. Shall I tell you the whole story?
Please do.
Yeah.
I was going out for a walk to Cyberport from my flat with my friend, and I saw the... What's it called? Real Peace and Democracy? What are they called? What's the Mr. Chow's stand? Let's call it Robert Chow's stand.
Well, it was the silent majority. It's changed to the Alliance for Peace and Democracy.
But you should note that the Alliance
know.
for Peace and Democracy has neither a Facebook page nor a website. Note, because I tried to find it.
They're using the silent majority.
Silent majority Facebook page. And Robert Chow also has his own website, but supposedly you can send him emails on that, because I tried to, but that has either been hacked or it doesn't work. Right? So if it's hacked, then there's rough justice. So anyway, I was walking to Cyberport and I saw Mr. Chow's booth and I thought, I'll go and challenge these people. So I went up to them and I said, hello, can I vote? They said, have you got a Hong Kong ID card? I said, yes. And they said, yes, you can vote. I said, but I'm not a permanent resident. They said, that's okay. So I said, well, that is inconsistent with Occupy Central, isn't it? Because Occupy Central would not allow me to vote because Occupy Central voting criteria are the same as the voting criteria in elections.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, but it's not a vote.
But it's a...
So I said, well, what is it? And they said, I don't even know what they said. I can't remember.
I think they call it petition, right? It's a
it's a signature campaign.
Signature campaign. So he said it's a signature campaign. It's not a vote. So I said, but you're going to present it as the counter argument to Occupy Central. So don't you think you should have at least the same voting criteria? And they said, no, that's fine. We allow kids to vote as well. So I said, you allow children to vote in this election? Yes. So how on earth can you even claim that it's in any way comparable to Occupy Central? And they said, it's fine, you can do that, blah, blah, blah. So I filled out the form, photographed it. Meanwhile, my friend was recording all of this on his mobile phone because I wanted to make sure that there is audio evidence that they do allow non-permanent residents to vote. So I said, but, hang on a minute. If I were actually supporting your campaign, I would want it to be as credible as possible. So therefore, I would have thought that you would be interested in some kind of comparability with Occupy Central. And then some guy said, oh, what do you care about? Just fuck off.
Really?
Oh, isn't that nice of them?
Yeah. So I said, excuse me? I said, do you normally argue with people like that? I'm trying to have a rational discussion with you about the credibility of your campaign. He said, oh, just fuck off.
Or beat him.
So you can
I
beat
say that. Yeah.
Ron beat him.
So I signed the form. And put it in their box and went on the rest of my way on my walk to Cyberport. So then I tried to write on Mr. Chow's website asking him if it was the policy of the Alliance for Peace and Democracy or whatever it's called to tell people to fuck off. And also whether it was their policy to try and mirror in any way Occupy Central's voting criteria in order to be in some way credible. But then Mr. Chow's website didn't work. And it didn't work, so either it was hacked or it just doesn't work because he doesn't spend enough money on maintaining it. So then I tried to find the Facebook page in order to be able to post a comment about that. And, of course, they don't have a Facebook page either.
You write in the English or
in
Cantonese?
In English.
That's why.
In English. Well,
Simplify Chinese.
But they don't have any... They have... I don't think they have it in Chinese either. Do they? Well, Occupy has it in 2 languages because English is an official language in Hong Kong.
It is.
It is.
You wouldn't know it in this city.
So I decided to post a summary of what had happened on the Silent Majority for Hong Kong's Facebook page. So I wrote a short account of what had happened, including the fact that I'd been told to fuck off twice, and asked if it was the policy to be rude and offensive to people who didn't agree with you. And I had a few responses. The most hilarious was, I can't remember the lady's name, but she wrote to me and she said, how can you make such a stupid accusation? She said, why don't you just walk the walk instead of talking the talk, accusing me of having lied about being told to fuck off. So I wrote back to her and said, would you like an eyewitness statement or would you like a copy of the audio recording? And then she wrote back and basically told me that I was a liar, that these things didn't exist. So how are we supposed to be able to deal with people who do not accept fact when it's presented to them? They challenge you to present the evidence, and then when you do present the evidence, they tell you that the evidence is not valid. And she actually made a point that I should have had video evidence as well. So is there any point debating with this kind of cretin?
Well, from my experience about debating people, once they start attacking you personally, they know they've lost the argument, or they just don't bother to want to argue with you. And the other thing is that the people who always seem to want peace and non-violence seem to be the most violent to me, because your experience is not exclusive, because there's been Facebook video of people just coming up politely and just giving their counter argument about the signature campaign, and they beat them up physically.
You were lucky.
So I just got abused.
You just got verbally abused. You didn't get physically abused, like this one poor guy on Facebook that the video was on Facebook. And he got beaten up by several people. Oh, yeah, real tough people beating up on one guy. Man, why don't people pick on me sometimes? Anyways.
You're too big. Come on.
No, I'm just saying that's my experiences about people, so-called people that want peace and just go along to get along, seem to be the most violent, most verbally abusing.
I think
that's been my experience. And people who just cannot wrap their heads around another way of thinking will just start insulting you. So it's just normal human behavior.
But I think that the thing that worries me most actually about this campaign, you're right. I think you're right, and I think the general intellectual caliber of these people is
low,
debatable. I don't doubt that there are a large number of people who do not want disruption. I don't doubt that.
Oh, no.
I think that
Neither
there
do
are
I,
probably a very large number of people who sign this collection of petitions for the right reasons,
Sure.
and I would genuinely support them. I think most people would. But the thing that worries me is the use of children. I think I made the point in my note on silent majority that it was wrong to get kids to sign. And then they replied to me, but people were taking their kids along to the 1st of July march, which is true, as I'm sure that parents take their kids along to the silent majority protest, which is true. But you can't force them to vote.
See, that's why age of consent is 18.
Exactly. You
and
have an
18
age of
is when you
consent,
can vote.
And you have a voting age because at that point you're deemed to be sufficiently mature to be able to think for yourself
Correct.
and vote. So
Correct.
it is actually an abuse of kids.
I wanted to ask you, do you remember what color the form was?
It was
white
white.
or
It was
another
white.
one?
No, it's
Okay,
white.
because they have two
White.
forms. They have two forms.
For-
One is for permanent residents, and the other one is for tourists or kids or just residents.
And there's a box that says I am over 18. You have to tick the box. I've
But
got
Right.
a form on my phone, actually.
But doesn't mean
Right.
that you're a
Well,
permanent resident,
supposedly
right?
they're going to separate them. I mean, okay, I'll take their word for it. They may. But the thing is, this signature campaign is such a farce that if they say they have 800,000 signatures, it means nothing. They're going to need at least, in my estimation, 50% more to make it legitimate, because the threshold is so low for participating in this signature campaign.
How many have they got so far? Do we know?
I think the last one was almost 400,000.
I think they should make it 1.3 billion.
But it's not been in the newspapers the last few days. So it's
Now,
not
why would you choose that number?
It's not making an hour by hour impact like Occupy Pop Vote did.
But
is it?
what kind of information they are collecting from the form? Because
And this is a month-long signature
Yeah.
campaign.
Name, some of your ID card number, whether you're over 18 or not, and your signature.
any phone number?
Optional.
Okay.
So I signed it and I put it in the box. So one of the 300,000 is completely illegitimate, and that's mine.
I was just throwing in a
After
blank
1 or
vote.
2 days, and then Robert Chow of a silent majority.
Can
went
we
on
speak
TV
about that guy?
Yeah, and saying that some people are trying to make some disruption to their campaign in their booth, and and causing some destruction and damage to the booth.
Has anybody
That's
seen?
you, right?
But when is debating destruction or disruption? Are we not allowed to debate? Are we supposed to just sign a piece of paper because it's put in front of us and stick it in a box? That's what they do in North
That
Korea.
was not a talk show. It was just a booth. It's not a table for you to, lobby your things there. They just ask you to sign. Just do it.
So if having a legitimate debate and arguing with somebody on the booth about whether their campaign has any credibility or not is disruption, then so be it.
They've been.
I could have been arguing to try and improve the credibility of their campaign, couldn't I? I could have been saying, if you want a proper campaign, then don't include kids because people are going to laugh at you.
I mean,
but they don't listen to this.
There were reports of bottles thrown at them and stuff like that.
Which is wrong.
Which is completely wrong. I don't advocate it whatsoever. But they shouldn't be so shocked that their stuff is being vandalized or if they're being abused. I mean, has anybody seen a Pan-Democratic banner lately? Those things are slashed and vandalized and, you name it, constantly. And the worst ones seem to be Wong Yuk Mess. I don't know. I don't want to speculate why, but every time I see a new banner up, boom, there's a slash across the face. They cut out the face. There's stuff drawn on it. There's, stickers on it, whatever. So the Pandems have been experiencing this for a while. Not that I'm making excuses, for vandalism. I'm just saying that it's common. This is just normal behavior of a bunch of morons that that can't debate you intellectually, so they just break stuff.
When you compare with this Occupy Central referendum last month, you will only find that there are only quite probably 15 to 20 polling stations that are available to you.
But the online platform made it much easier.
Yeah, of course. And then for this signature campaign, they have 700 booths on the street and quite a lot of corporate, and they try to please them, and then they lend them the place, and they ask their employees to sign in, and then
Town Gas.
Yeah, and then even the newsstand, the newsstand that they were. It was reported that some of them were given money so that they can put up the sign.
There's been stuff all over the news and Facebook. I mean, we're talking about people being given goodies, like free cooking oil, free bags of rice, a la the tactics of DAB.
Just signing that form, then I can get it?
Yeah.
But let's do it.
or it's like, if we have this many signatures, then we can get these goodies.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's all over the internet. So, you want to sue me? I have evidence. I mean, they're using cheap tactics to get people to sign. They'll just say, sign it. They had interviews on TV with people saying, I don't know what I'm signing.
Yeah, true.
Some people just said, I saw no violence, so I'm for no violence. Fair enough. But is that how you would sign a contract? I feel scared for people.
I can tell you yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that.
It's the way that the questions are worded. There are 4 questions, and it says, I love peace, I love democracy, and I love something else. I mean, three of the 4 questions, anybody except Hitler, Stalin, and Chairman Mao would be able to sign. The 4th is, I oppose Occupy Central. Okay, that's quite a clear question.
Yeah.
That's quite a clear statement.
That should have been just that. That's it. I oppose Occupy Central.
The 3 others, anybody could sign them. They're so generally pleasing to the human nature that most people will be able to sign them.
And then there was stuffed in certain corporations were like, you better sign this by the end of the day and return it. People were fearful for their jobs. Good thing they leak it out to the media like they should, and then they back off, like Town Gas. And then newspaper vendors were like, if you hand out X number of these flyers, pamphlets saying go sign these petition, this petition, the signature campaign, you get $100. I mean, this is the kind of stuff where's this money coming from? That's what I'd like to know, and we'll segue into that later about money donations lately. But I mean, and then a majority of the people, as reported by the South China Morning Post, are the gray generation. Most of those people are signing this because they just want to live their golden years out in peace. Screw the young people. We had it hard, so you better. What are you complaining about?
Well, if you have seen the news clip of the Occupy Central referendum, then you also see quite a lot of old people coming out to vote.
Sure,
and
I'm not generalizing all old people are like this, but I don't see young people participating a lot.
Or they're very young. They're
Or
kids.
when I say young, I mean 18
Oh,
to
well, the average age was about 9.
Yeah, or very young.
very young.
Made up of two 26-year-olds and a 4-year-old. So maybe my maths is wrong, but you get the point.
And you know what? If they want this signature campaign to be legitimate, it cannot stop at 800,000. In my opinion, they need 50% more just to so people will not question, well, 800,000, 400,000 of those could have been my dog. You know what I mean? If they want some legitimacy, because it's so loose.
How long have it been going on? For a week already, right?
A week, yeah. It started
and
last
it's going
Saturday.
for a month, where the Occupy Central referendum went for just 10 days.
Yeah, they extended it.
And it's already being
they had
quoted
to
in
because of the hack attacks.
in the Central People's Government's press as being a much more accurate view of public opinion in Hong Kong.
Wen Wei Po and Ta Kung Pao are like the Soviet Union's Pravda. Okay, that's what I compare it to. If a ham sandwich was indicted for corruption, they'd say, "Well, wow."
But it wasn't a member of the CCP.
It wasn't. It was caught sleeping with another sandwich. I mean, that's how silly those newspapers are.
But I doubt actually why they need this signature campaign. They don't. The government.
Oh, it's a tit for tat thing, right? Like they have their Occupy Central. We have our signature campaign. I mean, why didn't you do it the same way?
Yeah, the thing is that the government never listened. They even saying that these people going out or supporting the civil nomination, there are some people in Hong Kong in their submission. Then now these people of this silent majority making this signature campaign is actually quite pointless because the government wouldn't care about it anyway.
No, it's just to get into people's heads, right? Like, look, the pandems are not the only ones that
Can mobilize people.
that can mobilize people and can resist against certain proposals. We have our silent majority. We have our people too. Hey, you ever notice Robert Chow, how he speaks on camera? Have you ever noticed?
No.
That guy is smart. The guy looks into the camera with a pleading face, like, "Please, if you care about Hong Kong, come out." But I was watching him on Newsline, and I'm like, wow, Joseph Goebbels would be very happy with what you're doing. No, I'm not saying he's a Nazi. I'm just saying that using propaganda, the guy's really good.
Really?
He's really good.
When I look at him, I was like, idiot.
We do, because we know what he stands for. But he's very good at that.
Why does he do it, though? What's his motivation for doing this? What's his background? I should research this guy.
He was a SCMP editor before, and he only finished high school.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, long time ago. And
Long time ago.
Long time ago. And then he started his own business of this magazine, recruitment magazine, quite successfully. But then he got kicked out by the board of director, and then he started another thing. In the 90s, he was a host in RTHK.
He was on RTHK, yes.
For a political talk show. But and then I think quite recently they changed the broadcasting authority chairman, and he went apply for it, and then the people saying, "Oh no, you are only a high school graduate, so you can't apply." And then the government lowered the threshold for him, so that he could apply, and people thought that he could get the job at that time, but at the end he didn't get the job, and so he kept.
He applied to be the head of the communications authority.
Yeah.
Thank God he didn't get it.
No, he's applied to the RTHK chairman, right? Is not the
I'm
off
not
cut.
sure.
So what's his motivation? Is he just genuinely an establishment politician, or got big business dealings in mainland China? I mean, why does he care?
I think he
Could be looking for a seat on the CPPCC.
Or has he just got a big ego?
More like
Why?
he liked the spotlight. Yeah.
We don't know his
That's
motivation.
all right as a
he
motivation,
says his
I guess.
motivation is he doesn't want violence in the city.
But
fair
didn't
enough.
you
If
guys
that's
notice
why,
that?
then
But whoa! What guarantees that Occupy Central turn violent? Why is that a conclusion that Occupy Central will turn violent? For sure. It could just turn out like Chater Garden on July 1st, where everybody lies down, cops taking away. That's it.
People keep saying that the Occupy Wall Street It was quite somehow violent in a way.
Well, it wasn't. It didn't. I didn't see riots. I just saw people. Well, the thing is that it was a bunch of groups coming together, calling it Occupy Wall Street. There was no like central leadership, and it kind of faltered. But exactly. Because a lot of people, such as Joseph Yem, are saying, well, if Occupy Central happens, the Chinese government, the central government, will, uproot Hong Kong's status as a financial hub and throw it into Shanghai. No, that is not easy as it's said. You have established roots in this city where it cannot be emulated in Shanghai as much as you want. You can copy stuff all day long, but it's not as good as the original usually. And Occupy Wall Street happened. I didn't see the U.S. Treasury or the Federal Reserve move Wall Street out of there and move it to Chicago or to L.A.
One of the expertise of PRC is copying things.
We know that China is very good at copying, right?
Yeah.
But
So
it's cheap. But the copy sucks usually, right?
No, Xiaomi quite popular. The mobile device now they have this presentation conference like copying the Apple. Conference.
Did you pre-order your Mi 4?
Like one more thing. They have the same thing. One more thing in their conference.
Yeah, well, China is known for its imitation, not innovation. But again, it's not as good as the original. If I had a Xiaomi, if I was strapped for cash, maybe I'd buy that. But if I had a choice, I'd still go for the Apple.
Right.
But
these are talking about the silent majority. I never seen their proposal of democracy. Do you know their proposal?
Whatever the PRC says, I think.
They say they support democracy. Then what is their
whatever
proposal?
is going to be thrown at us by the MPCSC.
They will say, woof, woof.
Yeah, basically. Basically. I mean, if we're running dogs of the British,
wow.
The other way. So the point is that if they want this signature campaign to be legitimate in the eyes of the opposition, it can't stop at 800,000. You need at least, 1.2 million.
Yeah.
Just put it in a number like that. Just to at least say 400,000 of those could be junk. And look, 800,000 people are literally against you. And I want to see a breakdown of the numbers, who were under 18, who were not residents, who were domestic helpers, stuff like that.
Are you sure that it will release the statistics?
They should.
I don't think they will.
They should.
I don't think they can. They don't collect enough information on their form to do that.
Right.
They don't collect full ID numbers, so there is no way that they could ever independently verify if somebody were a domestic helper.
I mean, there are people who said we voted twice. Reporters have said we voted twice at the same booth.
All right, I think I might go back on Sunday and try that.
There you go.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
And ask for those oil and rice.
Yeah. You should say.
People thought that, why didn't I get it?
Yeah, exactly. A lunchbox,
Yeah, have you got any pasta? I don't eat rice. So I was like, so I'm a Guaylo, can I have potatoes?
Well, thank you for your story, Lee.
You're very welcome. I just thought I'd share that
Lee.
with the program.
That's very, very insightful because that's, your story is not the only one. It's been happening all week, all on social media. And, from one end of the political spectrum, anti-Occupy, we got 4 Occupy and 4 Democracy. We got Jimmy Lai.
Yeah.
Jimmy Lai is the owner of Apple Daily. He is a tycoon. Media tycoon. He's quite wealthy. And he's one of the only few that openly support the pan-Democrats. And supposedly his computer got hacked. No, his assistant's computer got hacked. His former assistant's computer got hacked. And it had all the information of where his political donations were going. And the problem isn't so much that he was donating $40 million to the pan-Democrats. I mean, hell, everybody knows Jimmy Lai supports the pan-Democrats. I mean, do fish swim in the water? I mean, it's that obvious. The point is that the pan-Democrats didn't declare these donations.
But do they have to declare?
See, that's the thing. When did he give it? If it was during election time, you must declare.
according to the interview with Jimmy Lai, then
Right.
he actually said that the donation, he thought that it was for the election in year 2012.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's true, there could be some problems for the Pan Democrats.
But the
coming
funny
down.
thing is that now the election bureau or election committee saying that they don't have the record anymore.
That's strange.
Yeah, because they said they only keep it for 1 year.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's their policy, that's their policy.
Yeah.
Privacy policy, I
Yeah,
guess.
and I think there's shame on you to actually give it to Jimmy Lai because he's only donated so
little?
so little money. It's like
Okay, he's in consideration.
you can buy 2 flats in Hong Kong only with that kind of money. Of course.
Where do
Come on.
people get flats for that expensive? I mean, I can get a decent flat. It's old, but it's a really nice flat. I can buy 4 or 5 of those with that money. I don't know what.
Yeah, in
people-
Tin Shui Wai.
No.
If you want to buy Tai Kung
Kowloon
Sheng,
side.
you can.
Okay, I don't want to live in. Why do you have to live in Tai Kung Sheng? See, okay, that's a different topic.
Yeah.
The point is that if these, I mean, some people have flat out said no. Claudia Mo said no. James To said no. They said flat out no. Leung Kwao Kong was like,
on, investigate me.
I went to my party. After
Leung
a
Kwao
little
Kong?
bit of yeah,
I thought he said people said
he said he accepted it for his party. Now, if I'm wrong, I will correct that later. But I
Ah.
think from what I got from his interview, it was in English. He said it was for my party.
and then he
$500,000.
probably then after that he said if you want to investigate, then do it.
Okay.
Yeah, he quite openly said, I will accept an investigation.
And you know what? If the Pandems are caught taking money without declaration, without following the proper procedures, they should get what's coming to them.
But like, if it's not for
I'm not going to say, they should be let off scot-free because they're the Pandems.
if it's not for election, then there's no law or regulations for that though.
But $40 million for all these parties, it's quite low compared to the DAB.
Yeah,
I
how
mean-
much they get in one?
They had
One
their
night auction.
annual fundraiser. What was it, last year, I think, or something? And they raised $63.8 million just from that fundraiser, with one businessmen donated $25 million for crappy calligraphy
Yeah.
and a singing performance by Zhang Xiaoming, the central government's liaison officer here. I mean, would you pay that to listen to him sing? I paid that for him to shut up.
I won't because I will pay other people to sing. I like these Yacht Chow to sing. Then I will pay that. Yacht Chow is the equal opportunity.
I'd pay
Commission.
him to sing the Star Spangled Banner.
Okay.
I just want to hear how it would sound. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure he sings the March of the Volunteers, all day long, all day every day. But that's what I pay him.
But the point
to
of
have
this
him sing.
auction is that, of course, they doing this fundraising to ask for the higher price, and at least DAB, to be fair to them, they have declared that. And
Yeah, hey,
make it public.
all props to the DAB. They declared their financial interests. Lee?
How much was an evening's drinking with Holden Chow? Was that on the list?
You know what? You should show up at their next fundraiser
Okay.
and bid on that.
I'll ask.
He'll ask. And,
God, that would be an interesting conversation, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Could last about 30 seconds before you got bored.
The thing is that none of these parties want to change the way things are done, though. They want business as usual.
Yeah, because they don't want to disclose, actually.
Exactly.
And they know that...
Nobody does.
Yeah. But I think it's a good time that people should discuss about the political political party act again.
Yeah.
Because it at least regulate them when they should declare their donation. And if these people from the pro-Peking party saying that the pandemic should be investigated, then they should support the political party act at this time.
Sure, because the more transparency there is, the less chance there is for corruption and evil interests or foreign interests interfering in Hong Kong affairs. Jimmy Lai should also be condemned for using money to get influence for business dealings in Myanmar. I mean, he paid Paul Wolfowitz.
Right.
Former defense secretary or deputy. I'm not sure. Deputy defense secretary of the Bush administration to go in there and lobby to get favorable business deals. You know, we're condemning the CCP for interference all day long. You know, where we're thinking, where the conjecture is always that they're paying these parties here to do, you know, that's how they're getting their funding, the newspapers. But at the same time, he's doing it but it's in a different country. So I think that's wrong, straight up. I just because you support the Pan-Democrats doesn't mean I'm just going to support you all day, every day.
But when you look at the donation that he gave, actually you see that you can see that which party he favors at the same time.
What was it, Civic Party?
No.
What was it, Democratic Party?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then
probably because they're the oldest, most established pandemic party here.
And of course, these new party like People Power and these other more radical.
He supported them all.
No, he didn't pay for the People Power.
Except People Power.
Except People Power.
Yeah, except People Power.
And Won Yok Man as well, Raymond Won. He didn't.
He was a People Power 2012. That's why. So it lumps together. So if he didn't support Ray Chan and Albert Chan, of course he's not going to support Raymond Wong because he was People Power at the time.
And then Raymond Wong came out and said that the people should, give a clear explanation of their donation.
Absolutely.
And at the same time that People Power attacked Raymond Wong because Raymond Wong didn't declare his own donation as well.
Oh, there's certainly trouble in paradise.
Yeah, so
People Power. And we're not going to get into party infighting because that just distracts from the overall more important issues. And the thing is that, but I can also understand the Pandems saying that if we disclose everything, it could actually deter businessmen from donating to their party because they have significant financial ties to the mainland.
Right.
I understand that argument, but at the same time, I can't have selective enforcement either. If you want transparency in the executive government, you must have transparency in your own party.
Yeah.
It can't be two levels of justice. You know what I mean? So it's all or nothing when it comes to that. So the whole thing has to be transparent, not just, well, we don't want to be, they want. If I hope more businessmen have the courage to donate.
I think I can only propose that these rich people who want to support democracy, they can transfer the money to my account, and then I can do that for them.
Oh yeah,
and then so that they get there safe and doing business. I don't mind.
Should I give you my ATM pin while I'm at it?
I don't mind, please.
No. You can leave your contact information on our Facebook page for Key to get in touch with you.
Yeah.
And the other story was that the UK lawmakers plan to visit Hong Kong as part of their inquiry into the joint declaration. And my thoughts are it's a great vacation.
Yeah, they can, enjoy here.
They can enjoy the scenery.
But at the same time, they also have this public consultation. Do you call that public consultation? Or,
yes, Lee, you're
inquiry.
You're British.
I'm not sure of the terms of... Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the terms of reference for this. It's the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I should have read up about this. Can we delay this till next week and I'll read it properly? I think it's the Foreign Affairs Select Committee. So the way that the UK...
Yes, Foreign Affairs Committee.
Affairs. So the way that it works in the UK Parliament is that there are, similar to here, right, that there are committees that look at specific issues and they call the relevant government minister and also people from outside, if it's relevant, to task for what's going on. So they would have a list of things that they're obliged to or want to investigate. So because it's the 30th anniversary in December of the Joint Declaration, then it's on somebody's agenda somewhere that said we should look at this. Now, whether Anson Chan and Martin Lee's visit made them do it and they wouldn't have done it otherwise, I don't know.
I personally
don't know.
think they're just using the excuse to have a nice vacation.
Well, that's true, but it might be a little bit over cynical because they are actually asking for people to write to them as well.
Yeah, they ask people to make the submission to
read
them.
a submission to make, and you got until October to send a submission.
So they can give it to their expense account people.
No,
I am being very cynical.
I don't think writing a submission and the
I like
visitor they're linked because it's the same
I'm
subject.
kidding,
I know,
I'm
but
kidding.
I think if people wrote to them and said, I mean, what I did read, this was very briefly about the terms of reference for that were also about business interests in Hong Kong as well, British business interests in Hong Kong. So it's not just politics; it's the economic effects of this. So I think they're taking a fairly wide-range view. In fact, most of British foreign policy, as is most countries' foreign policy, is almost exclusively business-related these days.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So the economic departments in most embassies are the most powerful and the most well-staffed.
But do you think it's useful that people, do write a submission to
Yes,
to
I
the?
think so.
Does it make
Okay.
a difference?
I think it does, yes.
Okay.
If enough people do it, then it does make a difference.
But quite a
yes.
lot of these people on the internet saying that it's useless. You just write
See,
it to
just-
them.
Yeah, but then
What do you think about that?
I think my argument to that was always the same, that if everybody did that, then nobody would ever do anything. If we're going to go around being apathetic about everything, then the bad people get away with it. So
Good point.
even if
Good
I am
point.
the only person that writes something to the House of Commons Select Committee, at least I can put my hand on my heart and say, I tried.
Very good point, because we're in this situation because of people being so apathetic. Reading some history about of the handover, we have 6 million people at the time that were living here, and they had their public consultations on the drafting of the basic law and stuff, and like barely a few thousand people submitted views, like a couple of maybe 20,000. I mean, it was so little compared to the population. People were literally like, we don't care.
So how many people said, what's the composition of the nominating committee going to be? How many? If people had said that 20 years ago, then we might have a very clear path about what it means.
Nobody cared at the time. So even though this may go nowhere, we got to use every opportunity that's presented.
I think to make it effective, businesses need to be encouraged to participate, and they need to be made aware of the consequences of one country, two systems dissolving or joint declaration not working out as intended. I think the rule of law, is key to this, that if businesses understand that you won't be able to rely on judges' opinions because judges are going to be arguing in favour of things, so they come out nicely with the CCP because they're treated as administrators.
Right.
If they understand the economic consequences of the deterioration of rule of law, if they're made to understand that, then they would protest. I think there's a PR exercise working on businesses here.
And I also read this one of these think tank from UK saying that the white paper actually just saying the obvious thing. They only just reiterate the old rules here in Hong Kong, saying that there's nothing to do with the judicial independence in Hong Kong. I quite disagree with that. And from this week, what Elsie Lam talked about the judges in Hong Kong, I think she actually said something like, if the judges if they don't love the country, then they can just resign. I think that's totally telling the judges that if you don't do it according to what CCP tells you, then you can just resign. I think this is completely ruining the whole rule of law in Hong Kong.
I mean, with hindsight, how did she ever get to be on the Basic Law Drafting Committee?
Or the what was our other position in the executive government?
He was the Chief Justice.
She was Chief Justice.
Yeah.
Was she?
Yeah.
She was the Chief Justice. Yeah. She's making comments like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. You were like so surprised.
Well, I am. I'm really shocked. That's astonishing. The Chief Justice. She was the former Chief Justice.
At the time, she probably wasn't sure that she'd get a nice cushy seat on the.
So is she on the
CPPCC?
BCCC? She got a nice cushy seat on it.
No, she's part of the Basic Law.
She was a Basic Law Drafting Committee.
Drafting committee.
Yeah.
So she's also part of the Rita Fan's on the same. The Basic Law, the oversight committee kind of thing,
Oh yeah, the one now they are
Yeah,
running.
the one now.
Or the study or the
it's just
something.
oversight of the Basic Law.
Yeah.
Plus, they are part of the CPPCC.
I am absolutely staggered. I didn't know she was former Chief Justice. If she's former Chief Justice and she's saying things like that, that is actually
makes
quite
you-
shocking.
Yeah. Well,
Wow. Wow.
Well, welcome to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
I guess our next story is on a slightly lighter note. Is that
Why are you
I'm
laughing?
looking at you because
Why?
this is going
Are
to
we
break your
going to
heart.
talk about these,
This is going to break your heart. McDonald's suspended certain
Aw.
food in Hong Kong because there was rotten meat found at a Shanghai food processing
It's a U.S. company.
factory run by a U.S. company. I will get to that point.
Okay.
So the suspended meat sales of certain products here in McDonald's because they use their product here. Now, my point is, one, it's McDonald's. What the hell did you expect? Two, it's not food. Three, factory farms, factory eating, this type of fast food, disgusting slop that people are eating. What did you expect?
Exactly. Totally agree.
So why do you eat it?
Why do you eat that?
We Cantonese eat everything.
No, not just you. I mean, we're talking about all people around the world.
But you
eat
don't.
this slop.
I'll take you to task on that. You don't eat. You do eat everything, but you eat everything in a fresh way, right?
Yeah.
So what you eat is what you buy in the wet market, which is either just been killed or recently been killed, and you know
Yum.
where it came from. You
No.
might eat the feet of it, but at least you know where the feet came from, right?
Yeah.
Well, we drink like a Coca-Cola. We don't know what it is, but we drink it. We love it. We still love it. So it's just things that we enjoy. Why can't
I guess
we
it's
just
just
enjoy it?
education is what's needed. Is that you eat this stuff, you're going to be sick. And then this is what pisses me off. Why am I sick? Why do I have all these diseases? Why give me more public health care because I have all these diseases? If you don't take care of yourself, we should stop calling that health care. By the way, it should be called sick care because health care is what you do at home. Is what you do at home. What are you eating? What are you putting in your body? You know, if you're eating good stuff, odds are you won't be so sick. You get your nutrients.
I want diarrhea. I can lose weight.
It's the perfect weight loss remedy.
Yeah. That's why I love McDonald's. I like they using this kind of sick or rotten meat so that I can have diarrhea.
You know why-
What were we talking about earlier? Whether it's worth debating
Look
with
at
people?
you guys.
think you
I
have
am
your
the
answer
thinnest
there,
one
Amanda.
in this room.
Do you know what kind of crap they put in this stuff? I mean, just MSG
Don't care.
stuff is disgusting.
That's delicious.
That's the reason I will not eat dim sum anymore. And a reason I won't eat Chinese food in the city is because every time I eat it, I feel super sick.
Yeah,
right
yeah, I
after
know.
Because it's laced with MSG.
Yeah, I want to puke after that.
Right. It's so laced with MSG all the time. I just cannot eat Chinese
I
food
agree.
in the city.
After I puke,
I
I
have to
eat
cook
more.
it at home or eat at somebody's house. Then at least I know it's like pretty damn good.
Would you go to his?
I probably won't go to his though. I'm not going to your house to eat. Yeah, we'll go out to eat. But people need to stop saying, "Why am I so sick?" when they're eating crap like this. I mean, just look at a McDonald's meal. Okay, we're talking about a Big Mac, fries, and a drink. That's over 1,000 calories.
And what's the
That's
point?
half your day's.
Do some exercise.
True, but that's half your day's calories in one sitting.
I don't see the point. You just consume and then you do exercise. Then
Unless
it
you're
will go
Michael
away.
Phelps, okay, who has a super
You look at
high
my abs.
metabolism, okay, you should not be consuming 1,000 calories in one sitting.
I don't agree with you with these calories. I think you are obsessed with it.
You know
It's
what?
wrong.
I wish nothing but the best for you, Key. But if you come to me and saying I'm running out of my high blood pressure medicine in about 5 years, don't tell me that I didn't warn you.
You can use mine. I got some.
Seriously, it's the stuff our soils are depleted.
No, I
we're
don't
not
believe
getting
that.
our nutrients.
They have the,
We're eating crud, and we're wondering why cancer's exploding in this world. I mean, come on.
because people smoking.
That's one of the reasons, but look at all the other stuff. People who are generally healthy, quote unquote, are getting cancer.
We die anyway. We all die anyway.
You want a quality of life or not? Or you want to die at 50 because you had a nice quality of life up until that point?
That depends
Why don't we
on
start having death panels?
How
over
you
that?
define the quality of life? I don't.
Not being sick.
I enjoy the food. That's the quality.
Enjoy
of life.
quality food.
enjoy.
McDonald's is not food.
It's delicious.
So
It's
he should get the
easy.
Shame on You award.
What?
You are nominated for the Shame on You award for being such a corporate whore for
No,
McDonald's.
I'm not a corporate whore. I just think that it's the easier way to, let's imagine in the very morning of at 3 a.m. How can you get the food? Just call
I'd
McDonald's.
rather eat a fried boot, and I've told you this before. It has more nutrients than what you're going to order from McDonald's.
They don't have these fried chicken McNuggets.
McNuggets. You know what's in McDonald's McNuggets?
Yeah, I
silicone.
like it.
You're eating silicone. You're eating plastic.
Well,
Here's my cup. Here's a plastic cup right here. You might as well eat this because this is what's in a McNugget.
I tell you I will because I'm Cantonese.
Oh, God, that is not an excuse. That cannot be an excuse.
We eat everything.
Moving on.
You can't debate with that. You can't debate with that.
You are nominated,
What?
sir. All right. I guess finally, I mean, it's a big world story is the shoot down of flight MH17, Malaysian Airlines. And the only point I'm going to make is that people are jumping to conclusions before the facts are presented. And it's really dangerous for people to just start blaming Russia, Putin's missile, and they don't have all the facts, or they refuse to look at all the facts. They just say that it is such a dumbed down way of just looking at things. It's just the media just gets on TV and goes, look, bad man, bad man, you hate man. Okay, 5 minutes of hate right there. I mean, it's so damn childish at the level of people were just conned into this. Could he have? It's not like Putin was sitting at the button saying, "Oh, look, flight."
No, you're right. You should not
Okay.
jump to conclusions until you have the evidence. But the point here is the evidence, isn't
The
it? And the control of the evidence.
And,
That-
Yeah.
and when,
this is an area where Putin has de facto control, and he could have dealt a lot quicker with the protection of that evidence, and he didn't. I loathe Putin with a vengeance, and you're quite right that you should not judge or assume it was a Russian-backed missile that did this. But he has de facto control over that area. He therefore has responsibility for having cordoned it off properly to protect the evidence, and that he did not do.
fair enough. But what I have a problem is that Putin is being made out to look like this new Stalin character when it was the United States, NATO paying the opposition to overthrow an elected government. But Putin's the bad guy. What?
Yeah, we hate him.
I don't like the guy either. I don't
say
like
it
Putin
loud.
either. Okay? I think he runs his government like a gangster. And
Well, he is a gangster. He was
Yeah.
a member of the KGB, so he is a
Sure.
gangster.
Well, just because you're a member of the KGB doesn't mean you're a gangster. What makes him a gangster is all this siphoned off money and all these friends of his. But at the end of the day, which government isn't corrupt on this planet, right?
Of course.
Right. But the thing is, they're just trying to use this as an excuse just to get a new Cold War going, and then more bombs need to be made, more warships, more military-industrial complex crap that we don't need in this world. There's too many conflicts as there are. We don't need another one with the Russian bear.
There was a very interesting article in The Guardian yesterday or day before yesterday about why it's neither in the West nor in Russia's interest for there to be a trade war.
Absolutely. There are a lot of people looking...
Very interesting article.
Yeah,
and
because-
why we don't want Russia to collapse either. Why that would
Exactly.
be very
You
problematic.
want them to go back into a hard line, autocratic... Well, it's kind of autocratic now, but I mean a dictatorship. Is that what we want? I mean, Russia has come so far from the collapse of the Soviet Union, and now we want, instead of engaging them in peace, we just want more conflict with them. I mean, it's horrible.
I agree.
I don't want war. I do not want a World War III scenario, because this could have been a trigger point. You never know. What really made me upset was the plane goes down within 15 minutes. Ukraine said, we have the evidence. It was Putin. I mean, right there, I was like, yeah, that's BS. There's so much evidence to cover that it hasn't been investigated independently, but we're making all these. And then when the State Department was asked, where's the evidence? They're like, it's off social media. That's their evidence, based on social media. So I just want people to please not jump to conclusions until there's a thorough investigation.
But as said by Lee, because
it could have been the damn
they couldn't
rebels.
go in to investigate. Of course, they can only rely on the social media that put up the picture by other people.
Anybody, look, me and you could disguise our voices right now, get Ron to, put some background noise and say, look,
Right.
it's the Russian rebels. We got that audio clip. Give me a break. Do not forget weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Do not forget yellow cake from Niger. Do not forget Colin Powell's, drama queening at the UN with vials of biological weapons and mobile trucks that were making chemical weapons. All this BS that of course never happened. And then what happened? 1 million Iraqis died.
But then I would blame the Russian that they put themselves into this position that people doubt them because they don't allow people to investigate.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying what the rebels did by not allowing immediate inspection of the area, but I saw so much demonization at the same time. When they showed rebels in the area, they said they were looting it, and then you see the raw footage, and it was them going, "Look, it's a teddy bear. Look, it's we found this. Look, we found that," and they're just putting it into piles. They didn't take it with them. The investigators came and saw it. Okay, but there's a major ratcheting up of a new Cold War, and it needs to end ASAP. And people cannot just jump into conclusions saying Putin bad man. It's too easy. Look at the facts. This government in Ukraine was overthrown by NATO's help. Okay. There is evidence. State Department said we gave $5 billion to various opposition groups. That is directly getting in there, involved in other countries' affairs. Okay? Overthrowing of an elected government. Now, if the United States or another Western country came in here, started funding opposition groups, starting, Psy war and everything like that against the Chinese, I'd say that's wrong. Just because they might have the moral high ground of saying we are the nice guys, those are the bad guys. Still, do not interfere. I mean, when has any of their plans gone well since World War II? Nothing. Not one. Vietnam turned communist. Iraq is a failed state now. Iran is still hardline. Mexico is a collapsed failed state. Chile, they overthrew an elected government. I mean, you go all over the world.
Yeah, and Chile's not a failed state. Chile's the most
successful
economy in Latin America.
But they did overthrow an elected government and threw in Pinochet, for goodness sakes. Yeah. Pinochet was a barbaric dictator. And they supported him afterwards. What? So, people need to look at all the facts. Don't jump to conclusions. Don't just, buy into, you're supposed to hate that guy this week. Look into the history.
But I think I'd hate Putin every week.
I don't like him either. Okay?
No,
I don't like him either. But
like
he's not the one going into random countries starting, new conflicts.
But I like his pictures, the naked picture wrestling the bear.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
That's a double shame on you, too.
I certainly would not want to go one-on-one with Vladimir Putin in a fight.
But really? Fanciable picture posted by right. Double shame on you,
I mean, the guy's trying to be like the macho leader. I understand the PR, right? But at the same time, I don't want war with Russia. Nobody should. And then at the same time, you also have to look at this. Two things. One, why was the plane allowed to go over a conflict area when all other planes were diverted? But suddenly that one went to 33,000 feet into a conflict zone where,
I don't think it was the only airline that did that, though.
But a lot were told not to go through it.
A lot were, but lots continued to fly through it.
Isn't common sense saying, well, Because 2 weeks ago, the Ukrainian military killed 1,000 so-called terrorists in eastern Ukraine. Apparently, they were all terrorists. They could tell us. And then they're like, well, the response from the rebels was, well, we see your planes, we're going to shoot them down. And then this plane goes down. No doubt this is a horrible tragedy. And all evidence points to the rebels shot it down, thinking it was a Ukrainian military plane and probably going after, oh shit, what the hell just happened? And if that's what comes out, those people need to be held responsible for it. And if there was any evidence that Putin supplied the weapon, he should be condemned for it. And if need be, sanctions, you name it.
Let's wait and see.
But there needs to be an investigation first.
It will come out very soon.
If it does, fine. But it needs to be independent, and it needs to be, objective. It needs to be done ASAP as well. No, don't sit on the evidence 6
But
months.
the whole argument now
But
is
they
still
tried to
going
do
around the same argument because they don't allow people. They don't allow.
No, they're
people
allowed.
to
The
be
investigators have been in there 3 times now.
objective.
But they've been in there 3 times, and anytime they want, they can go back to do more investigation. Yes, the area's been tainted now because these idiots don't know how to not touch a scene of a crime. They're not, when there's a scene of a crime, don't touch it. But they did. They tainted it. But I think they can still make good conclusions for that. I mean, look what happened last year. They said that Assad used the president of Syria used chemical weapons on his people, and in 30 minutes they said it was Assad when it happened. And then 6 months later, the UN itself said no, it was the so-called rebels.
I think the KGB know how to taint the scene very well.
FSB now.
Is it FSB?
The FSB now. But still, no war is good.
I agree that.
No war is good.
Okay, don't give the shame on me. I agree with you.
Right, so that's the end of the show. We got to give a Shame on You award.
To Jimmy Lai!
For not giving enough?
Yeah, he's so rich.
Maybe to the company that supplying that so-called meat.
What's the name of the company?
Husi, 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 Husi.
Husi. That's another one.
Oh.
Or Robert Chow. But it's not like he...
Robert Chow's too easy.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
I mean...
You're Husi.
Husi?
Yeah, Husi.
Well, Husi, congratulations. You have just received the...
Shame on you.
Award. And, that's the end of the 10th show. I'm glad to be back. It was pretty sick last week. You made it sound like I was dead. I'm listening to the beginning of the show. Is
Welcome back, Jesus.
Welcome back, resurrection. All I hear at the beginning of the show is, I have some really sad news. I thought you were going to break down and start crying. Like, oh my God, he's dead. No, I'm glad to be back. It was just a really bad cold, and I didn't want to spread it in this little studio. And then next thing you know, you're at home. Ron will be at home. Everybody will be at home because of me. So it's
very
better.
considerate of you.
And thank
Very
you.
considerate of you. Thank you. Just wear a mask next time.
So I thought about that, but then I was like, I don't think that's very effective. And thank you for Christopher Lau from last week, our guest. If you haven't listened to that show, please download it and take a listen. And I'm sorry I wasn't here to interview him, but it was a good interview. You did a good job, Key.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and thank you, Lee, for filling in.
Sure.
And so please visit our Facebook page. Comment there and like it. Facebook.com/I on HK Pod. That's the letter I on HK Pod. You can go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/I on HK. I am sorry for being tardy on putting up the latest episodes, but starting this week, all episodes will be up. It just takes a long damn time with their processing and all that, but it will be up by the end of the weekend. And you can also download our podcast directly at ionhk.podbean, bean like a jelly bean.com. And you can also download it directly from iTunes. Just search Ion Hong Kong, and it'll come up. Subscribe, and the shows will come up whenever they're available every week. So please spread the word about the broadcasts. No advertising budget here, just word of mouth. You like the show, don't like the show. Hopefully you can debate. Ask questions on Facebook if you like. We'll answer them. If you have a question or you have a comment, we'll read it on the air here, and then
and Jimmy Lai can donate to us.
Jimmy Lai can donate to us.
I love you, Jimmy Lai.
You can put up your bank account information later, Key, on Facebook. So that's the end of the show. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.